Hey everybody, let's talk about text structure, but maybe first we should talk about how awkward this camera angle is. It's looking down on me. I don't know if I like this or not, but we're going to go with it, what we have here today. So first off, what we're talking about is text structure, and this is the way that the author organizes their ideas. This is the underlying organization. Now, if you can start to see how the author puts their argument together, puts that information together, then it starts to become a little bit easier to find that main idea, and then we can start to really determine the purpose, the approach, their perspective. All these things start to come a lot clearer. Um, this is a set of five. This is not by any stretch of the imagination all the different text structures. There's a lot more of them. Another one that you will see a lot of is called description. But we're looking at these five. We narrowed the list down to these five. First off is chronological. This is just a timeline of events. This happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened, right? And we look at them in a calendar fashion or a timeline fashion, okay? It's very similar to sequence, which we see here right next to it. Sequence is step by step by step. You do this first, then second, then third, then fourth, right? Chronological does the same thing, but by date or time. Okay, so what happened first, what happened second, what happened third. Sequence doesn't necessarily have to have that time element. It's just the order of things as they would happen. Sliding over here, we look at cause and effect. Now, this is a big one. This is one that you will use a lot because a lot of times, this will be an assignment that you get. Hey, what was the cause or what was the effect? Now, if we think about cause and effect, so this leads to this. Cause leads to this, okay? If somebody punches you in the face, you punch them back. Cause, effect, okay? Now, what we want to think about is sometimes we only have part of that, okay? And a lot of times you're going to be asked to figure out the other one. So for instance, here's a thing that happens. What would be the outcome? So we give you the causes, you have to find the effects. Or likewise, here's something that is going on. What got us to this point? What were the things that happened to get us to here? Okay. So for instance, if you think like Johnny isn't doing his homework, he's playing Xbox all night, and he doesn't go to school. What might be the effect? Well, Johnny's probably not going to pass, right? So I gave you the causes. You're trying to find the effect. Now, it could be, hey, Johnny is failing. Why is Johnny failing? Let's look back. Oh, wait a minute. He's playing Xbox all night. He's not coming to school. He's not doing his homework. Okay, that's what got us to here. Now, sometimes we also might be projecting into the future, okay? Here are some things that are going on. What might happen, okay? This is a very common assignment that you're going to see in a lot of places. As a writing assignment, this is also a very common structure that the author will use, that the writer will use, because they're trying to analyze a series of events and how they are interconnected. If we jump forward just a little bit, we have problem and solution. Again, very similar. Here's a problem. Here's how we solve it. Again, maybe you have the problem and we're asking you for the solution, right? We're asking you, here's a bunch of things that are going on. What would you do to solve it? Okay. One of the things about problem and solution that you will see in an author's writing, this starts to sometimes get into persuasive, not always. It could be an informative. But a lot of the things that we are looking for here is we're looking to see how they are connected and how will this actually solve that problem, or what about the problem will prevent that solution from happening. And then finally is the compare and contrast. Here are two things. How are they similar? How are they different? Okay. It's pretty straightforward. One of the things that we will get into next is the analysis part of that. Here's how they're similar. Here's how they're different. Why is it significant that we see those similarities or the differences? Why is it important to note those? Okay. So anyway, as you are looking at these different types of text structures, okay, you might have multiples of these within a paper. generally speaking, because we're going to be reading shorter stuff, that you will generally have one, but you could have more than one, right? And again, this isn't all of them. There's a lot of other ways that you could structure things, okay? But these are the ones that we want to start with and focus on first, because once you start to see the structure, then the author's purpose and their perspective and their goal starts to become a little clearer.